Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Now today's first story comes from Digital Pastry Chef, who says, "Am I the arsehole for banning my cousin's daughter from my house following her destructive rampage? I, female 25, recently reconnected with a cousin, female 29 of mine, after running into her at a cafe with her husband, male 30, and daughter, female 7. It was so wonderful to see her again, and we have kept in touch since. Her daughter, Mary, was diagnosed with hemihypertrophy, pronunciation, where one side of the body is bigger than the other. I am unsure of the exact details, but she has undergone a few surgeries already. From what I understand, she will only, hopefully, undergo one more surgery, and she should be able to live a happy and healthy life. Her outlook is quite good. My cousin told me that she is racked with guilt that her child is imperfect. Her words. She feels that she could have done something differently when pregnant, and maybe avoided everything. As a result, she will do anything for Mary. While she is a very sweet child when on her best behavior, I also have never seen a more spoiled/entitled child, which leads her to be destructive when she does not get her way. My cousin and her husband even jokingly call her the Hurricane Mary because of how much damage this child can do in a short space of time. Recently, my cousin's family were at my house when Mary went on a rampage. I baked a cake for dessert and Mary had licked tongue to cake, the entire thing clean of frosting before anyone could have a slice. Thankfully, I had emergency ice cream in the freezer, but I told Mary that she would not be getting an ice cream with everyone else because she had already had dessert. Mary started throwing the crockery that was on the table and broke all of it. She also hit my new TV with a plate and destroyed the screen. Her parents did nothing but watch, and I was scared to get caught in the crossfire. My cousin's family left quite quickly after Mary calmed down, and I texted her afterwards saying that she and her husband were more than welcome in my house, but Mary was not. She is livid to say the least. She said I am being discriminatory towards a child with a disorder and that pigs will fly before I see her again. She said that if I discriminate against Mary, I'm discriminating against her too, and she cannot believe that I would treat family like this. Her final text was quite venomous, and I quote, "Just keep in mind that I hold grudges, and you are now officially dead to me. Mary has big emotions and we want her to express those. No one gets to dictate how my child behaves. I'm glad that you have a broken TV to remind you of the time you took some ice cream away from a child with a disorder. Ableist." In the moment, I was quite frustrated, but now I wonder if I'm being discriminatory/ableist. I do not think my cousin would be quite so angry if she didn't feel like she was protecting her child from me. So I thought asking some internet strangers for clarity. Edit to add. I did ask that my cousin at least contribute to the expense of replacing my plates, drinking glasses and TV, but she said that I need to take that as an expensive lesson for being discriminatory, uncaring, and lacking compassion. And them saying that you're never going to see them again, etc. I'm kind of wondering, is that such a bad thing at this moment in time? And I feel sorry for OP that all their stuff's got damaged, and sure there must be a way of them getting reimbursed for that if they really want to go down that path. And I can't help but feel sad for the daughter as well. Obviously, I'm not excusing behavior, I'm not excusing shitty behavior, never want to do that, but it kind of makes me sad for the life that could have been. I mean, it could still change in the future, but I just can't see it with the parents that she has at the moment and the way that they're dealing with the situation. You continue to let this behavior escalate like this, it's only a matter of time before she does more damage at someone else's house or damages someone, and this is only at 7 years old, so it's a scary future, I think. I mean, what life is she going to have in the future being raised like that with absolutely no consequences for her actions? She's allowed to destroy whatever she wants. And from the parents' attitude in this particular situation, it just sounds like they're going to continue to allow her to just do whatever she wants and rain chaos everywhere, which I know, isn't going to do a good in the long run at all. And I just find that incredibly sad. But the story and the main update was all in one post, so there's a lot of responses that include the update information as well. So we're going to go on to the next parts of the story. So the next one was saying, how do I begin the process of being reimbursed for damaged property? Which OP says, I recently held a gathering at my home with my cousin and her family. My cousin's daughter is 7 years old and quite destructive. So much so that she managed to destroy my new TV and quite a few of my plates and drinking glasses while throwing a tantrum. My cousin has told me that she is not willing to cover the cost of any damages whatsoever, but that would mean that I am out of pocket quite a bit. I do have building and contents insurance, but I'm not sure if I should pursue my cousin through them or if I should engage a lawyer. Another avenue I would try would be to file a police report, but I do not know anything about that process. Unfortunately, I do not have any photos of the damage, but I do have some text from my cousin refusing to pay me and naming a child as a destructive party. If anyone could help me with some tips moving forward, I would greatly appreciate it. Then OP updated their main post, which says, I reached out to a legal advice subreddit and received some helpful advice and was pointed towards a lawyer in my local area. He was so helpful and offered to write a letter demanding repayment, but told me that the chances of me winning in court was slim to none. Unfortunately, as the damage and destruction had been done by a minor, it would be difficult to prove that my cousin and her husband had a reason to believe that their daughter would do damage as a visitor to my house. It is also quite difficult to prove that this was nothing more than a tantrum, which is expected behavior from a child. The letter was delivered to my cousin and her husband, but I knew that I didn't have much of a leg to stand on if they decided to contest the payment. I was surprised when my lawyer heard back from my cousin's husband within a couple of hours of the letter being delivered, asking for a mediation. I agreed to meet him with my lawyer present, and that meeting was held yesterday. My cousin did not attend as I am still dead to her, but my cousin's husband showed up and sang a very different tune. He was super apologetic and asked that we not take this any further, as they're already dealing with a situation where my cousin's daughter attacked another child at school. Apparently this was not the first incident of my cousin's child hurting another child, but this time was particularly brutal and the parents had gone for the jugular. My cousin's husband asked for a payment plan to be put in place, but wanted the payments to be small enough that his wife would not notice. Apparently, she did not believe that I was owed any money and he did not want additional drama. Thanks to the advice of some Redditors, I'd hunted down the value of my crockery and I'd kept my receipt for the television. All in all, I was owed a few £1,000s and we agreed to £200 a month repayment plan. My lawyer was quite thrilled at the outcome, and it seems that my cousin's husband, not realizing that I couldn't have done much in court, has worked out in my favor quite well. Regardless of what a judge would have potentially thought, I 100% believe that I am owed the money for all the damage Hurricane Mary caused. Clearly, my cousin's husband agrees. On a sad note, it does seem like my relationship with that side of the family is well and truly over. My cousin's mum, my maternal aunt, called to tell me that she cannot believe my selfish actions and never wants to see me again. My mum received a similar phone call saying that she has raised an entitled brat who goes after disabled people. I do not know if my aunt or my cousin for that matter know about the payment plan, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Thank you to everyone who reached out with some help and advice. I'm very grateful and would never have gotten a lawyer involved if it weren't for you. I'll be eating unlicked cake off my new plates tonight. I gotta say, I found that update quite interesting, mainly because of what the lawyer said. I'm no legal expert whatsoever, I haven't got a clue. So when he was saying it's also quite difficult to prove that this was nothing more than a tantrum. I mean, even if someone's child did have a tantrum in your home and destroyed stuff, so you can't do nothing about it. I find that weird. You just gotta hope that they're a nice family and will pay for the destruction their child has caused. I mean, what the hell? But we're going to cover a couple of comments after the post now because we couldn't do it before. So Frank Lloyd Wrong says, hiding behind an ableist accusation to avoid paying for damages they clearly owed. Spellcheck says, parents like this really do their children such huge disservices with their indulgent attitude. Kids like Mary either wind up in prison or get their asses beat the second mummy can't protect them anymore. Competitive King says Hurricane Mary is going to have a hard life once she does something her mum can't explain away. It's insane that at 7, this little girl can cause so much damage, to another kid no less, and the mum sees nothing wrong with it. Snail Ranch Hero says Mary's life is ruined. She's being raised to be a complete monster and is already stamped with a record of brutality and violence at 7. Her family ruined her life. By the time she's 18, she'll likely have no friends, she won't be able to keep a job, and most prospective partners will run like hell. She's definitely going to be expelled. No college will accept her with a history of ongoing violence, which will be an issue since nobody will call her out. She's going to find herself all alone with her life in ruins by the time she's 25. And one more from Such a Fat Cat, who says, the accusations of discrimination are utter BS. The child's behavior is not a result of her disability. Her behavior is a result of her mother's unwillingness to exert any effort to discipline her child. Regardless of the disability, this child's life will always be limited because of the lack of any discipline. One day, her mother will be visiting her in jail. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? What would you say to OP if you had the chance? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And the next story we're covering is one that we've covered in the past, but now has a new update as well. So I'll add timestamps in the description as always if you want to skip parts of it or just want to go straight to the new update. Totally up to you. And the title of the story is, Would I Be the Arsehole If I Didn't Go to My Brother's Wedding Over a Bridesmaid Dress? It's from Educational Leg 1046. I'm currently in medical school and live across the country from my brother and family. I was surprised when his fiancée asked me to be a bridesmaid because I barely know her, but she wants to have all siblings in the wedding. I made it clear that their wedding was during my final exam week, and while I was able to get accommodation to take my last 2 exams early, I still wouldn't be able to help much with planning or be present at things like a bachelorette party or bridal shower. She said this was fine. It would mostly just have to be an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen and for pictures. There's a group chat that was created months ago, and I would read through every couple of days to get updates on things I needed to do, namely to order a bridesmaid's dress. Links were sent with 3 styles to choose from and would be updated on colours later. So a couple of weeks go by and I ask what colour to order. Bride says she's still thinking about it. A couple more weeks go by and she's still thinking. Then a couple more weeks. You get the idea. Now it's at a point that if I don't order this dress in a couple of days, it won't be here in time. So I ask on Saturday what colour. No response in the group chat to me. I asked again yesterday, Sunday, what colour do I need to order? And I'm flooded with messages and blasting me for not ordering a dress yet, from her sisters and my sister and her. My sister called me and told me to get my shit together and to order a dress already, because my lack of preparedness is causing the bride intense anxiety because she doesn't think my dress will be here on time for the wedding now. She texted me this morning, "Don't forget to order your dress, love you," with smiling and kissing emojis. Still, no one has told me what colour. I've scoured the group chat for a mention of dress colours or an image of a dress, but only the maid of honour sent a photo of her dress, and I don't know if she has a special colour. There's thousands of messages, so it's not simple to find anything. Everyone else can meet in person, so I assume the decision on colour was relayed in person. I can't tell if I'm being purposefully excluded. About an hour ago, my brother called me pleading with me to work things out with the bride because she's panicking about me. I tried to explain this to him, and he told me he doesn't care. It's a petty ladies' issue. And since I'm not there for anything else, this is the least I can do because the bride thinks I don't like her because I wouldn't come to anything. He's taking her side. They know I'm in medical school, have literally no say in my schedule, and I'm on the other side of the country, 5.5 hours by plane. I'm fed up with them and contemplating telling my instructors the wedding was moved and I will take my exams at the regular time. I'd have more time to study that way anyway. I haven't told anyone in my family I'm considering this. Would I be the arsehole? Then OP gave us our first update, which says, I called my mother and asked her what colour the bridesmaids' dresses are. She said lavender. The only colour option on the website that I would call lavender are named Pearly Lilac, Periwinkle and Orchid Purple. I text the maid of honour, bride's sister, to ask the dress and got a multi-paragraph long lecture about not having ordered my dress yet. Basically, they are trying so hard to accommodate me being across the country by including me in the group chat. She said she didn't remember the shade name, but it's a dusty purple, then sent a blurry picture of a wrinkled order confirmation. The shade name was Mulberry. On the dress website, that is a darker wine/purple colour. I told her this and she said to order the lighter dusty purple colour. I sent her a screenshot with a list of shade names and asked which one of these. She said she didn't know because everyone ordered their dresses so long ago and asked for pictures of the dresses in different shades from the website. So I sent screenshots of all the light purple colours. No response for a while, so I called her on the phone, which she was upset about because it's past 10 PM over there now. Her response was, "Look, I don't care what your problem is with me and my sister, but if you want to stay in good standing with this family, you need to get your ducks lined up, girly." I ignored the lecturing comments and asked, "What colour?" Her response, "Light purple." I said, "Of the 3 I sent, which one is it?" She says, "I don't remember. I'll have to ask one of the other bridesmaids for a receipt. I'll get back to you." I want to bash my head into a wall. I called my second brother, the one not getting married. He said they're pulling similar things with him and he feels like he was deliberately given the wrong dates for the bachelor party by the best man, bride's brother, so that he would miss it. He inadvertently learned about the changed date the morning of, and when he asked the best man, he just told him it must have slipped his mind to tell him, then joked that he wouldn't have missed much since he probably won't enjoy any of the festivities anyway. They've been making homophobic jokes and comments to him that he's been ignoring, but he thinks they're just trying to get him to back out of the wedding. So if we both back out, then there will be an even number of bridesmaids to groomsmen again. Only speculation on our parts, of course. Quick update, I was seriously considering pulling out, but the collective rage here and my fading motivation to study has me thinking, by this point, with how this post took off, I wouldn't be surprised if they find out at some point, so I don't want to reveal my cards just yet. Thank you to the comments that gave me the idea. I guess I'll be making an update mid-June if it all goes to plan. Then the update came June 26th. I made a post about dropping out of my brother's wedding over a bridesmaid's dress. TLDR, I was being gaslit for months over what colour dress to purchase. I suspected that the bride's family wanted my second brother to drop out of the wedding because they are homophobic, and by pushing me to drop out, they could achieve that goal. Thanks to some responses, I called the bridal salon and asked what colours were ordered. 4 dresses in the colour Flint, 1 in Mulberry. The maid of honour was setting me up to believe Mulberry was the colour of all the dresses. So I ordered 1 in Mulberry and 1 in Flint. I only let the maid of honour know I purchased a Mulberry dress. I caught a red eye to be there for the rehearsal. They had a room to get ready in the morning and wanted all the dresses stored there. I showed up with a Mulberry dress. The bride begins crying because it's too late to fix it. She asks if I'd be upset if asked to drop out because Mulberry is for the maid of honour. I pretended like I had made such a big mistake. I said, "I know a girl that works at the salon. Let me call her and see if there's a way to make it right, and if not, I'll step down because I want you to have the perfect day." I showed back up the next morning to start getting ready with the correct dress in tow. My friend looked in the bag for me and they just had this return yesterday. What are the odds? Exact style, colour and my size. It's a sign. Silence. Then an awkward, "That's amazing." Now, I'll be honest, I thought the revenge would be that they had to have me and younger brother in the wedding and photos. I couldn't have planned the next part. They had to explain to the makeup artist that there was an additional bridesmaid, meaning they planned from the beginning that I wouldn't be in this wedding. The ceremony went fine. We took photos after. Then there was no place settings for me and little bro with the wedding party at the reception since they banked on 1 less bridesmaid and 1 less groomsman being present. The table was almost not long enough. 2 chairs had to be thrown on the ends. We didn't get food initially because we were actually in the seating plan at other tables, so plates were brought to those place settings. I can tell my brother, groom, seems ticked off at the staff for seemingly not having things set up properly, but the bride and best man diverted his attention. Before he, groom, left, he found me and said he asked the maid of honour why the settings were wrong. He was told that I asked to be dropped from the wedding party weeks ago, then showed up and demanded to be in the wedding. I said I didn't ask to be dropped and showed him my phone, but she gave me a thumbs up on the dress. He noticed the screenshot was not the dress I was currently wearing, so I said I had to last minute switch it out after confusion on the colour. He seemed satisfied with that. They left on their honeymoon and my brother returned several days early, alone, so you can guess how that went. And then there was a commenter who asked about the bride, asked if perhaps the bride was homophobic and wanted to drop the younger brother and needed to drop one of the bridesmaids as well, as she was the easy target. And then OP says, "This is my suspicion. I think I was the easy target because I wasn't physically present and the bride didn't care if I was there or not, so it wouldn't be her loss. It's hard for me to gauge how much involvement my mother had. She flips back and forth with being nice to me or bullying me. My guess is she wouldn't want to be involved with directly lying to my face over something like this, especially since she likes to present the image of a perfect family. So if I messed up the colour, she would look bad. She's also great at blaming me for why our family isn't perfect though. So that's why I never know how she will act with me. But the dress colour was kind of lavendery grey, so I guess she legitimately didn't know the shade name." And then OP updates the post in September, which says, "Sorry for such a lapse in time. I've been so busy with things for school this summer. Then classes started up again, and on top of the events kept unfolding, so it didn't seem like there was a good time for an update that wouldn't be massively lacking in some kind of conclusion. That said, here is what I intended as the final update. At first, my little brother's perspective on the wedding. He said that our older brother, the groom, had approached him early on and asked if it was okay if his friend was the best man. Little brother said he wasn't bothered by that. However, our brother's friends have never been very nice to my little brother, so he was prepared for more of the same kind of circus. Mostly teasing, name-calling, homophobic language used casually like it's 2005, and we call lame things gay and have to preference everything with no homo. One of the things they started to do was call my little brother the feminine version of his name. Now, he didn't tell me some information that makes it more clear why a certain someone might have wanted him out of the wedding party. Basically, at some point, very strong but unreciprocated feelings were expressed to my little brother. Seeing how popular this story has become, it would be potentially identifying to give more details in case anyone involved found this. Even if someone is an arsehole, I'm not going to accidentally out them in a very public way. Beyond that, he said he was getting the cold shoulder in general and felt squeezed out from our own family. Apparently, at a family dinner with our parents, Mum said that the bride and maid of honor, bride's sister, were like second and third daughters she never had. Our dad asked if she meant third and fourth daughters. So my own mother forgot she birthed me, I guess. Or she's terrible at addition. Not sure which is worse. Back to the wedding. The groomsman/groom was set off to go play golf in the morning before the ceremony. After the rehearsal night, when I had the wrong colour dress and was dropping out, the best man called my little brother stating I had dropped out, and since he was set to walk with me, then he didn't need to show up to golf. But the next morning they called him, asking where he was, and said I'd made a scene to be back in the wedding, so he was back in too. On the golf course, our older brother was annoyed with him and said he should have come anyway, even if I was being dramatic again. Little brother didn't mention that the best man explicitly told him over the phone not to show up. So that's what was going on with the groomsman that morning. Now for the real update. Our brother came home a few days early from the honeymoon and was staying in a hotel. It was hard even for family members he's close with to get in touch with him for a couple of days. The public story, thanks to my sister doing damage control, became that he had gotten ill and had come home early but told his wife to stay and enjoy the trip, and that their apartment plumbing is being renovated, hence the hotel. Again, this has gotten public so that I feel eventually someone I know may see it, if not already, and share it with someone involved. I don't want to divulge too many personal details, so I try and stick with what is mostly public information. After arriving home a few days after my brother, his wife stayed with her parents' home for about a week. It seems that some kind of collaborative effort on part of my mum and sister, and presumably her brother, got him to talk to her, and they were back together. A week or so after coming home, they moved back into their apparently newly renovated apartment. Everyone ignored or forgot the fact that they didn't speak for a week. Then it's been all smiles and perfect pictures on Instagram. Lots of sappy 1 month anniversary, 2 month anniversary, etc. type posts. Perfect couple things. So at that point I didn't have much to update on. Kind of boring to say, don't know what happened on the honeymoon. They are back together like nothing happened now. A couple of days ago, there was a pregnancy announcement on her social media. Something to note is my older brother has never wanted children, and especially not children genetically related to him. He's a childhood cancer survivor, and he's always said he couldn't stand it if it was genetic. He's very serious about this, as he was considering a vasectomy. I recently spoke with my sister on the phone and mentioned how this was very strange to me that they're announcing a pregnancy. She said, and this is a quote, "There's nothing for getting a pill here and there can't fix if you want to get your way, you know." My response was, that's basically sexual abuse, and she scoffed at me for saying it's anything similar. I still don't know what happened on the honeymoon. I'm regretting not telling my older brother more at this point, but I'm not sure that petty ladies drama over a dress color would have gotten him to leave her. Clearly, he put up with a lot of drama from her anyway. I'm internalizing the guilt though, so sorry if this isn't particularly satisfying update. And with that update, I still can't see that being the end of this one. I expect to see more of this in the future. But what do you guys make of this one? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for spending your time with me today. Listen to a story or two, getting involved, clicking the like button, subscribing as well. Really does mean the world. And don't forget, at the end of the video, there'll be a couple of playlists there for you to select, and it scrolls through the videos automatically for you, so you can crack on with whatever you're up to whilst you're listening. And don't forget to let me know what you're up to as well, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today